I'm Lance Wolf, and this is Ironwolf Productions, as it is. My last video, so much went into the video, into building an armature for the green screen, that I thought it would be nice to show a little behind the scenes of all the materials and everything that went into it. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. Now please let me start by saying that I am not an expert in any of this. I'm self-taught. This is just some of the basics of what I've done, and I hope some of these little things would be helpful. Because most of what I'm doing is I'm generating artwork for a director's guide. And so I've had to learn a lot of this stuff just so I could apply it to better show off my models. Now here's a split screen showing some before and after. And it just gives you an idea of, really quick, just what little goes into it. Now what I'm doing here is I'm moving the camera on a slide bar, and I'm holding my thumb on the slide bar to help guide it. It helps you better control the sliding. And it's similar to the way you would do a motion control camera. Now a motion control camera, which of course I can't afford, it allows you to redo shots, but you can at least do your Stanley Kubrick 2001 type shots by pulling your camera very slowly on a slide bar and using your thumb to guide it. Now here is Sony Vegas Pro 13, and this is some of the basics when it comes to doing green screen. You set up, get ready to you use your footage, and you click on chroma key, and chroma key is what green screen is. And the first thing you'll come to in this window is 3 sliders, and what you want to do is first click on mask, because you're going to mask it out. And the very lower one is blur, and this is what will change the edges of your green screen if you want to create like anti-aliasing. I always just click it on 1 at the very end. But you want to go into your thresholds, your light and dark thresholds, and you want to play around with them until you get a nice crisp black and white image, because it's the same as an opacity map. What's white will show, what's black will have a hole in it. And anything that doesn't work, you can always come in and mask out, which is inevitably what you'll have to do. And then make sure you turn off your masking. As for masking, now masking, it's the same as doing animation. You have a timeline, and any alterations you make to the timeline will create a keyframe. So you go in the lower right hand corner, click on mask, and then you can just simply draw a mask of what you don't want to show. And it helps correct problems that, such as the green screen wasn't tall enough and it wound up part of the shot, or the raw that I was using, the fall off on the lighting wasn't great, so the entire armature didn't hide as much as I wanted. But all these can be corrected by just drawing a mask around it. And remember, anything you alter in that timeline creates a keyframe, so you want to constantly go through and adjust your mask. Now, this is how I'm doing it. I'm sure there are probably better ways of doing it. This is what I found worked best for me. And now for your model, it's most important. Most models have a hero side, which means one side of the model has just one giant hole in it where they mount it on a big giant metal pipe or a rig. But I wanted this model to be able to shoot, or be able to shoot this model from every angle. So I purposely built in trapdoors into it. And after I found the model's center of gravity, I created these little areas where I could install metal rods. And so this allowed me to have a model that I could shoot from any angle, and then for certain angles I just have to shoot the model upside down, which you can correct in video editing by flipping the film. And it also has 2 holes in the very back of the model behind those engines, which actually you can't see. But that way the model could be shot from any angle possible. And then of course the little parts that you can use for posing the model. Now this model is painted in such a way you don't have to worry about fingerprints getting on it. And because plus if you're moving the model in lighting, fingerprints are greasy, and you could wind up with shiny spots on your model when you're shooting it. So it's kind of very important when you're shooting. Remember, you're making this model, it has to be camera ready, and so you want to be careful where you touch it. In this case, this model has sealant on it, so I'm not worried about leaving any fingerprints on it. But it's a little of what went into this model. I set it up so it could be shot in so many different ways, and then posed, to do some little stop motion with the guns. Now as for the armature is completely homemade. It's an L bracket for a shelf, and some whatever parts I could find at a hardware store, some door insulation, and this little metal plate, And the whole thing it's quite jury-rigged, but it serves the purpose I need, because I needed something that would fit more than one model. And all my models are set up with trapdoors, so I can shoot them certain ways, but the holes aren't the same. So I needed something where I could adjust the rods, the width of the metal rods. And this was the best thing I could come up with. Plus, the entire concept is the same as a construction crane. Everything is balanced right on the center, and depending on how heavy the model is, you just put some weights at the other end. So like a construction crane, all the weight is balanced on the center, and it's completely adjustable. Now, it gets nicked an awful lot, and you might want to keep in mind that you'll always be repainting your assembly, and a screwdriver and a wrench, and you can make this adjustment. Now, there's no graceful way of putting this back together. Because everything's painted, some of the things are hard to unscrew, but because of the way it's set up, it is completely adjustable. And like I said, like a construction crane, that little metal part, the little sliding part on the rods, is what I use to balance on the center of this tripod, which is basically just a light stand with its light nut on it. And that was just the easiest way I could come up with to have a center-based armature, or I actually don't know what to actually call this, because it is, some wire clamps, hose clamps, and an L bracket to hold a shell. So it's completely custom made, but it serves the purpose. And here's one of the more important things. I bought this construction paper so I could put over the stand, because I was worried about the pipe having too much light fall off and it would show up, which is exactly what it did. So I would suggest having a sort of a list, a to-do sheet, to go over when you're doing your things. But this is the stuff you'll need the most of. You'll never have enough clamps, tape, and most of all, is the more tripods you have, the easier your life will be. And then that's a little bit more of door insulation, which I use for the tripod. But see, I forgot to use this construction paper, so I spend more time masking out the stand. But a couple of lights, your stand, you're all set, ready to go. To do a kind of an inexpensive way of doing this. Your rig to hold your green screen curtain, a couple of tripods, and a slider bar. And most importantly, make some signs, because everybody will trip over your tripods. And I swear, the minute I made signs, it stopped happening. Now, as for the equipment I use whatever kind of camera you want. This little rig with the actuating arm, you can put the camera in any position, and this slide bar has all kinds of different feet and adjustments. An amazing amount of things to allow you to put it on its own little stand or feet. Everything has a leveling mark on it, including the stand. And with this rig, you can do just about any shot you want. You can also mount the rig right in the middle, the slide bar right in the middle with one tripod, if you want to do downward dynamic shots. I prefer to mount it on two, but you could also tilt the bar very easily just by turning your tripod stand. So there's just no end to what you can do. Well, we're coming to the end of this. I hope it was informative. There's a little behind the scene. And here's the most important thing. When you're doing audio, put one of these on your door, because this will keep everyone from barging in. Thank you so very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it.